be a beautiful evening. You know, we've got the birds singing in the trees. A nice little view straight down there. The green trees. Little stream running here. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little discussion. So we're just going to talk about various topics. We're going to talk about Wu Nuwaupu, Malachi Z York, issues within our community, and possible solutions to you know, everyday situations that we find ourselves in. You know, so on that note, I would like to begin by stating that, you know, I've been researching information for the last, well, at least 25 years. You know, I've been a member of the Nuwaubian nation for at least 20 years. And just at the back of me here, we have some scrolls which are of interest. We have this one here called the Sons of Canaan. This was during the Nubian Islamic Hebrews Ansar Allah community. Sons of Canaan. So if you probably have heard of this scroll, but you've heard of the one that's the reprinted edition. This is one of the original scrolls called the Sons of Canaan. And also we have here, which will be familiar to some and unfamiliar to others. This scroll is called I Crown You. And it's a very interesting scroll. And this one's quite tatty at the moment, but you know, you've heard of the age-old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. And then we have this one here, which is an old original edition of the Constitution of AEO, the Ancient Egyptian Order. And here we have this one here. This was printed around about 1996, which is stated here, which is a calendar. It talks about extraterrestrials amongst us. So extra just means extra beings, and terra would mean, for instance, earthbound, and terrestrial or means from space. So that's what that basically means. So it's a very interesting calendar. It's out of print now, but you may be able to get copies of this calendar. And there's a picture of Malachi Z York. And there is a little supplication, a prayer, which states, I am in the love of all, and all love is in me. I am a part of the all, and the all is a part of me. I am one with the all, and the all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of the all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in the all, as long as my wish is to stay in the all. I am never alone. The all is, I am. The all can, I can. The all does, I do. El Kalum, El Kalum, El Kalum. So these books are some of our learning tools that were Malachi Z. York wrote, author of over 400 various scrolls that cover all various subjects, all the main schools of religion like Islam, Christianity, Judaism, etc., and some of the other more rarer, not as well known religious orders. Well, that just brings us to this point in time, and just a little insight into me and path that I've been walking along, which is the path of knowledge, searching for enlightenment, like a lot of other people out there, where we need to make sense of, you know, our life. You know, we all have that burning question: where are we going? You know, and more importantly, how are we actually going to get there in this system that we're living in, which is a system of contradictions. In many ways, we have money, well, what is called money, which is what is called fiat money, because money itself doesn't actually have any value. That's why it has on it, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of whatever nomination you're reading from." So it's called fiat money. It's not backed up by something that's seen as a precious commodity like gold, for instance. There's no gold standard that backs up money. So what we have is an IOU. That's all it is. You might as well have a white piece of paper with IOU on it, because that's all money is. You know, a promise to pay. So when we go to the shops with what we think is money, all we're doing is exchanging a piece of paper for goods. And in fact, the goods themselves are actually more valuable than the money. So if I go to the shop and, for instance, I want to buy let's say a plasma television, okay, and I go in there with £400, what I'm giving them, I'm just giving them straight IOUs, and I'm actually taking that. So in fact, so what that means, the principle behind that is that we are in fact in debt. So technically speaking, I know it's a bit it's far-fetched really, as far as the everyday layman is concerned. But if I go to the shop and I acquire goods with an IOU, that means that I haven't paid for the goods yet. So that means that that company can at some point or another call in that debt and said, "Hello, excuse me sir, but you bought a plasma TV 2 years ago, and well, actually you didn't buy it, you actually gave us an IOU, so now we're here to actually collect the real value of that television." And if you haven't got it, then you could find yourself with issues. And although that sounds strange, it is actually true. Money itself doesn't have any value. It's basically just a financial instrument. And one of the things that we need to read would be, for instance, the Bill of Exchange Act, you know, to begin to research the information that we're covering here. And so this is just a open forum talk. It's more like just a general discussion of various subjects. There's not really a set topic that we're going to talk about specifically, but you know, we'll have a varied discussion on various topics that are of interest to us in this day and time. So we're going to have a little break, and then we're going to resume. So what we have here is a £10 note. So you can read what the writing says on your own money, because I don't think you can see this clearly. But this says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £10. So this clearly tells you that this is an IOU, that it has no value, just a promise. That's why it's called a promissory note. Okay, so this is Mr. Mantis's IOU. So I will look after it for him here, because
I'm going to make sure I zoom in to make sure I see where it is.
he will be asking me for it later on.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so here we are, you know, we're just relaxing, you know, enjoying ourselves. We done a series of videos recently in the Kung Fu shop, Ringstead Roads, with BJ, MadMantis, the man of many talents, the man behind the lens. And it was a very enjoyable experience doing some demonstrations. We were doing some Bagua defense applications, and also we did some weapons applications courtesy of MadMantis, the pole, which is a very difficult and very complex weapon to master. And BJ gave an incredible demonstration with the nunchuckers, and you know, you can see the footage on MadMantisTV. You can see how proficient he is, the speed of BJ with the nunchuckers. It's really great to see, and we're very proud of what we're doing in the store. And we've got many more things that we're working on. We're currently working on a hip-hop open mic session where we're gonna be having a DJ to spin some vinyls, etc. Open mic session, and where we're going to be having several artists who will come down and, you know, bless us with their creative lyrical abilities, you know, which we're all looking forward to, and all very busy, you know, working on that. So we're going to bring that to life in due course. So, you know, just watch the space on that. So yes, so as I said, we're just really freestyling right now over various topics. We covered a little bit about money, but obviously money is vast, because there's money in fact controls our lives. You know, we can't do anything without money, you know, because if you look at this big park that we're in now, there's no fruit trees here. All these trees, actually there is what's those, what is it, conkers, isn't it? The only edible thing in this park, I believe, are conkers. And obviously you've got to roast them. You've got to roast the conkers. So there's no food source here readily available to us here. So, you know, money, we need money to buy food, we need money to conduct our businesses. There's nothing that we can do that doesn't involve some kind of payments, exchange, because all money is just a medium to exchange it for something else. We're actually in a barter system. That's all we're doing. We're bartering pieces of paper for produce that we need, or we think is valuable. We in turn can exchange that produce for some other produce. And at the moment, some of the biggest businesses that are found in all the local boroughs are places like cash converters, which cater for more or less on average people that are low earners, low income families who they haven't got any money. They might need to pay bills or to buy food, you know, so they will take something of valuable to the store, and the store will give them IOUs in exchange for something that is valuable. which is in a sense part of the trick or part of the spell. You know, in the school of Nuwaupu, we call that the spell of the dollar, or the spell of the dollar bill. Do you understand? But the spell of the dollar bill is really the spell of money, full stop. Okay? You know, so the reason I'm touching on that, because places like cash converters, etc., they do a lot of business in what's called urban center points, where people think in fact they are getting something for the service, but in fact, you know, they are only given a small fraction of the value of their goods. If their goods are worth £200, cash converters will probably give you something like maybe 20%, 25%, maybe less of your goods. And then within time, if you have got the money, you can then go and redeem your goods, okay, with IOUs again, and then you get your goods out of cash converters. So my personal opinion, I see it as these cash converters are actually fleecing they're fleecing the public, you know, because they're taking the last of things of value that these people have in their households. They're literally stripping it bare, you know, in exchange for IOUs, which we call money, or promissory notes, financial instruments, etc. Yeah, so that's just my take on that system of exchanging goods via those you know, cash converters, etc. So yes, we'll have another little break now, and then we'll resume with another topic. Thank you very much for listening so far. Go, man. I'd just like to talk about a little bit more about this calendar, printed in 1996, and I wanted to talk about a film called Hancock, which was a film that starred Will Smith, and the film was basically about a man who was an alcoholic who was suffering from amnesia, and so he had no knowledge of who he was, of the fact that they were actually worshipped as gods, you know, on this planet, and the fact that they came from another planet and they came here. So I think that is quite ironic, because of the subliminal messaging in that film called Hancock. This calendar here is talking about these beings here called the Procyon, okay, which are basically they're muscular, tall, well built, and the character Hancock, in my opinion and several others' opinion, is actually based on these characters here that came from this star constellation. So it basically talks about these beings, the Procyons, originally from Procon. Their height ranges from 7 to 9 feet. Their skin texture is human-like, and their complexion is brown to albino, as well as their hair, that's woolly brown or blonde and straight. The Procyons have traits that are very similar to the humans, such as the head, face, nose, mouth, neck, body, which is very muscular, arms, which are also very muscular, feet, hands, torso, and they have strong legs. Their eyes are also similar to humans. Okay, so this basically talks about these beings. And they say that they are the Earth children. So you have a look at these beings as well, and if you happen to visit the African continent, you will actually see a lot of people that have naturally got this hair tone, this reddish hair tone, and they've got a reddish tinge to their skin. So their skin tone and their hair, the color of their hair is different. I have cousins, both male and female, that are identical to these people you see here. Having said that, I'm not saying that my cousins are the Procyon. What I am saying is that there are similar beings that are here on the planet that do actually exist. And my comparison is really to do with the film called Hancock, and the comparison to these beings as beings that were once known as gods, but he in particular was suffering from amnesia, so he couldn't remember who he was. You know, that story is played out along a lot of the Nubian tribes in Western societies, you know, who for various reasons, a lot of them have not got, a lot of us should I say, have not got 100% knowledge of self. So it's one of the things that we as Nuwaubians, we try to address, and try to address this imbalance by teaching, you know, our people knowledge of self, knowledge of who they are, knowledge of where they came from, you know, even knowledge of where we can go, you know, as a collective.
So I was going to say as well to you, it's quite interesting you say that as well, because you know I've just noticed something as well. You see what you say, Palladian or Palacios. These guys come from the.
Yeah.
These guys come from the. Why they're called? I've noticed here why they're called Procyon.
Yes.
Is because they belong to the Pleiades star system, and the Pleiades star system is basically where they claim that was one of the last star systems that we actually came through before we actually entered Earth. So we're all supposed to have some kind of relation to the Pleiadian, you know, the Pleiadian star system, apparently.
Okay.
So the Pleiades is actually the star, which is that's the Scorpion. I think, I'm not sure if that's actually right, but I think it's a Scorpion star system. But yeah.
But these beings here called Ashtar Command, beings from Pleiades, they are beings that have been seen by a lot of people over the years. These beings are really quite interesting, actually. The actual story that covers, you know, who they are and what they're doing here. Well, according to the story, that these beings were actually preyed upon by reptilian beings. I'll actually get you to have a look.
Precisely, it's pretty much like what Credo Mutus, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. This gives you a rough look at what some of these reptilian beings look like. Also known as Draconians or Dracos, and there are various subspecies. A warrior class, they have a warrior class, and the leadership are the ones that actually have wings.